Rahu is the thing which we have to look out for, is the thing we have to work on, is the thing which drives us into the future. Rahu and Ketu are changing signs. In this video, we are going to talk about the effect of Rahu and Ketu changing their signs on all the 12 Rashis and all the 12 Ascendants. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanic Astrology channel. I am your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. And these videos will help you go further faster into Vedic astrological studies. Rahu and Ketu are changing signs. Rahu Ketu was earlier into the axis of Cancer and Capricorn, and now it is moving onto the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius. Rahu will be in Gemini and Ketu will be in Sagittarius. Before we start talking about the effects of these transits onto all the moon signs and the ascendant, let me tell you something about the transits. How do we judge the transit to be good or bad? We judge transit from moon sign as well as from ascendant. No confusion there. When you think in terms of ascendant, it becomes more specific and relevant to you. But we also have to consider the transit from the moon. The first thing we have to look for when we are judging the Rahu Ketu transit is to look the signs where Rahu and Ketu placed into your horoscope. What do I mean by that? Rahu will be in Gemini and Ketu will be in Sagittarius. Just open your horoscope and see where is the sign of Gemini placed in and where is the sign of Sagittarius. So these are the two houses which will be transformed during this transit. So you will have Gemini sign in any house depending upon your ascendant. If you are Gemini ascendant, Gemini will be in your first house. If you are, say, Pisces ascendant, so Gemini will be into your fourth house. Suppose you are Leo ascendant, the sign of Gemini will be into the 11th house. So for this transit, what you have to see is you also have to look for the Leo ascendant as well as you have to look for you also have to look from the perspective of your moon sign. Suppose you have Leo ascendant and Scorpio moon. So you have to look at the transit from both the angles, from moon as well as ascendant. Next point, wherever you will have the Rahu placed in, this is the house which is going to be into the spotlight during this 18 months. So this is the house where you have to work in. You have to put in efforts. This is the house you will drawn towards. This is the house you will take action with regards to the material gains. We have Rahu in the sign of Gemini. So wherever you have sign of Gemini placed in, the house where the sign of Gemini is placed, you will get certain opportunity into that area of life. And wherever you will have Ketu placed in, this is the house wherein you are almost completing the things signified by that house. Wherever you have Rahu placed in, it also gives confusion to that house. Suppose you are Aquarius ascendant and you have Rahu into the 5th house. So you will have opportunities regarding the 5th house, as well as it might give some confusion around that house because Rahu is an illusion. Okay, so this is the third thing. The next thing we have to look for in a transit is the Lord of the Rahu Ketu axis. Rahu and Ketu will be into the Gemini and Sagittarius signs. So we have to look for the sign of we have to look for the Lord Mercury and Sagittarius into your horoscope. Another thing to look for is what are the planets Rahu is transiting over. It is not only about the Sagittarius and Gemini. Okay, if you have Rahu into your Gemini and now Rahu is transiting over it, or if you have Jupiter in Gemini and now Rahu is transiting over it, it will have a different results as against a person who does not have any planet into the sign of Gemini and now Rahu is transiting over it. It will definitely have a different results. So you have to keep that in mind. So whatever I'm going to tell you won't be applicable to all. It is all generic. Please understand this. Okay. So you yourself can judge your Rahu Ketu transit with these points. If you can follow these points, if you can observe these points, you yourself can find the Rahu Ketu transit for yourself. Same is the case with the Ketu. Ketu is all about the completion. Ketu are the things which we have already achieved. We have already talked about that. But Ketu, when in transit, wherever it is placed in, wherever you will have the sign of Sagittarius, that is the sign, or that is the house which will show the signs of completion. You have already dealt with that. So you're moving on to the Rahu house. Okay. So you have to look for the Rahu house and not the Ketu house. Ketu house significations will help you to grow into the Rahu area. But don't cling to the Ketu area. You will love to cling to the Ketu area, but don't cling to Ketu area. Jump into the jungle of Rahu. Ketu is good for the spiritual enhancement. Ketu is good for the spiritual progress or the spiritual transformation. Rahu is good for material transformation. So wherever you have Rahu placed in, you will get something good about that house, no matter what. And wherever you have Ketu placed in whichever house you have Sagittarius sign, you will find some spiritual connection to that house. Okay, and especially in the 8th and 12th house and the 4th house, you will definitely have some spiritual experiences during this transit. So let us talk about Aries moon or Aries ascendant. For Aries moon and Aries ascendant, this transit will be from the 3rd house to 9th house. So the 3rd house things will be into the spotlight. So the 3rd house, which is all about the communication and media, writing and hobbies, and more so your hard work. And when you have the powerful Rahu loves to be in the Kama Trikona houses, especially into the 3rd house and 11th house. So you will have the 3rd house significations light up. 3rd house significations will be on a spotlight for you. You will have to work towards the 3rd house things. And the 9th house things and the 9th house significations are the things which you have already completed. You are almost done with that. Okay, but the 9th house things will help you into the 3rd house things wherever you have Rahu placed in. Okay, so communication is the theme for the Aries ascendant and Aries moon. For Vrishab or Taurus Lagna and Taurus moon, Rahu will be into their 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of money. So they will have great inflow of money, and money or finances will be the theme for these guys for the next 18 months. And the quality of the finances, whether it will be good or bad, depends upon the Lord of the Rahu, that is the placement of the Mercury. So Mercury holds the key for Rahu during these 18 months, and Jupiter holds the key for Ketu during this 18 months. For Gemini Ascendant or Gemini Moon, this is the period of transformation. Why? Rahu is transiting over your ascendant, or Rahu is transiting over your moon. So you will change yourself. You will completely change yourself. You will change your appearance, you will change your personality, and you might get fame. Why? Because Rahu is all about that illusion, about that fame, and first house is the house of personality. So for Gemini Ascendant and Gemini Moon people, this Rahu will, kind of re-image themselves, will transform them into somebody else for good or maybe bad, depends upon your Mercury. For Cancer Ascendant, Rahu will be in the 12th house and Ketu will be into the 6th house. 12th house is the house of spirituality. 12th house is the house of the foreign lands. And when you have a magnifying, spontaneous and aggressive Rahu here, what it does is it will make you travel. More than losses, I feel 12th house is more about travels these days. And you may lose money due to travel. You may spend whole lot of money on to travel. For Leo Ascendant and Leo Moon people, this transit is going to be very beneficial. Why? Because the Rahu will be into the 11th house of gains, networking. So these people will amass a great amount of gains during this period. Wherever you have Rahu placed in, it amplifies the signification of that house. You have Rahu placed in the 11th house, is the house of gains. It will give huge gains. And if you have well placed Mercury, it will give you tremendous gains during this 18-month period. And for Ketu will be in the 5th house. 5th house is the house of creativity. 5th house is the house of children. So these are the issues you have already dealt with. And now you are going out into the society to connect with other people. Okay. For Virgo Ascendant and Virgo Moon, this transit is happening into their 10th house. Rahu loves to be into the 10th house, 6th house, 3rd house, 11th house. 10th house is the house of public attention. If you remember, 12th house is the open sky. 10th house is the open sky. It is the zenith. It is the place right above your head, just opposite to the Netar, the 4th house, which is below the ground. So Rahu loves that attention. Rahu loves to be in the spotlight. And when you have Rahu into the 10th house, it will give boost to your career as well as your 2nd house of finances and the 6th house of your dates, delays, diseases, as well as your routine life. So you can look at this as you might have gains from your repetitive action or your regular or your routine, like a job. You might get a promotion. For Libra Ascendant people, Rahu is into the 9th house and Ketu is into the 3rd house. So Rahu, the 9th house, is in the spotlight. Travel, spirituality, guru, philosophy, religion, all these things are going to get amplified and are coming into the spotlight. And the 3rd house of communication and the media and all that hobbies, self-effort, you will see some signals of completion in those houses. Wherever you have Ketu placed in, it signals some kind of completion related to that house. And Rahu is the thing to look out for. Rahu is the thing which we have to look out for. is the thing we have to work on, is the thing which drives us into the future. For Scorpio Ascendant, Rahu is into the 8th house. 8th house is the house of occult, mysticism, inheritance, death and rebirth, ups and downs. And now you have the energy of Rahu into the 8th house. And Ketu is into the 2nd house of your resources, your family wealth. So what it shows is you will have to face ups and downs during this period. If you have well-placed Mercury, it will help Rahu perform better. For Sagittarius Ascendant, Rahu is into the 9th house and Ketu is into the 1st house. So for Sagittarius Ascendant, Sagittarius Moon people, it is the time to organize themselves. Just like Gemini, Gemini is going to get reimagining. They are going to transform. They are going to change their self. The 1st house is self. Rahu is coming in, the planet of transformation, the sudden changes, and now it is going to change them as a person. And for Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Ascendant people, it is the time to gather themselves. Because Ketu is into the 1st house. Ketu being into the 1st house, what it shows is it can also kind of embarrass you, because you are not confident about yourself. But it is the time to gather yourself, organize yourself, and in a way transform yourself. This transformation won't be like a Ketu transformation, but it will be the inwardly spiritual transformation. For Capricorn Ascendant, Rahu will be into the 6th house and Ketu will be into the 12th house. 6th house is the Artha Trikona house, and Rahu loves to be in Artha Trikona house or Upachaya houses. It does extremely well into these houses like 3, 6, 10, 11. He loves to be in these houses. And now for Capricorn Ascendant, Rahu is into the 6th house. 6th house is the house of enemies, diseases, delays. And now this Rahu helps the person to conquer the enemies. And when they are doing this, the 12th house, the house of spirituality, that spiritual and that divine connection is going to help them to overcome the obstacle and the enemies. But the focus, the spotlight will be into the 6th house. So for Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Moon people, Rahu will be into the 5th house, Ketu will be into the 11th house. The 5th house is the house of creativity. 5th house is the house of your love and romance. 5th house is the house of your children. So Rahu is an illusion. So this might create an illusion for Aquarius Ascendant people regarding the 5th house things, regarding your hobbies, regarding, remember 5th house is also the Bhavat Bhavam for the 3rd house, which is the house of hobbies, the 3rd from the 3rd, the 5th house, and now you have that illusion of Rahu into the 5th house. Rahu in the 5th house, you might get fame due to your creative projects. You did some short film, you did upload some videos, you created a web series and you uploaded it, and now it is a huge success. You got a fame. The 5th house Rahu gives fame from your creative pursuits. So for that, you are diving deep into your creative pursuits and you have some creative projects, and now they will bring you success. For Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Moon, Rahu will be into the 4th house. 4th house is the house of mother. 4th house is the house of your home. 4th house is your private life. And when you have the Rahu in the sign of Gemini in the 4th house, what it shows is you have the spotlight into the fourth house. So all the focus will be on a fourth house. So you might buy a property. So you might want to spend some money on your home. You might feel like renovating your house. So yes, this was Rahu and Ketu, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing, hit that like button, and sending you tons of positive energies, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.